Okay, what is up, guys? If you've been following along, I got the Fuji X100VI very recently, and I've used it now for a minute, and I've had it long enough that we've actually gone on a short little weekend getaway over spring break, and I took it with me, and I took a bunch of pictures. So what I'm going to do in this video is basically just kind of ramble about my thoughts, and I'm going to put a bunch of the pictures that I took while on spring break kind of over it. Like, I'm going to show you a few things on the camera first, and then I'm probably pretty much just going to cut to showing you random photos that I've taken with it. So basically my setup is I've got the X100VI, I've got the Fuji adapter ring here. It just seemed there was some drama about some of them having a gap and not, and so I just figured the Fuji one would definitely work, and it does. For all of these pictures, I was just using a Tiffin UV protector filter. I've actually got a K&F Concepts black mist filter also, and it is the lowest power one, and while I like it in some situations, I find that sometimes it's still too much. It's not subtle enough for me. So I have ordered a glimmer glass filter, but for all of these, I actually just used a UV filter, basically just to waterproof it, and I lowered the sharpness in image settings, like -1 or -2, something like that, just to kind of take the edge off a little bit. Once I get the glimmer glass filter, I'll try it out, and I'll report back on that, but these have no filter other than just a UV filter, which isn't doing anything. One thing I would like to recommend, instead of the press fit Fuji lens cap, especially if you're, and pretty much exclusively if you're going to put like a adapter and filter on it, I would get this I think this is K&F Concepts. Doesn't say anything about it, but whatever. I'll put a link to it. It was like $6. It's just the regular kind of like squeeze it in the middle lens cap, and I find this a lot better than the press fit one. It's much smaller, it's much easier to slip into a pocket and totally forget about. I just prefer it. Like, the Fuji one looks nice, and I guess I would use that one if I wasn't going to put like a filter adapter and stuff over the lens, but if you are, I would just get one of these for like $7.99 on Amazon, and then if you lose it, who cares, and easier to deal with, whatever. Straps are definitely a personal thing. I'm using this OP Tech neoprene stretchy boy with the quick disconnects. I've tried a bunch of different kinds of straps, and I honestly just prefer these, which, I mean, that works out. They're super cheap. I think the neck strap is like $14 or something, and the little hand strap is like $9. I've got that too, but it's on another camera. At any rate, this is the setup that I used because I knew I'd be taking a bunch of pictures. So I just wore it around my neck. If anyone has suggestions for a strap that they see that they like a lot that is also quick disconnect, let me know. But I tried the one that everyone is probably going to say, the Peak Design, I think it's the Slide Light, and that still felt like just too much for a big camera. I mean, for a small camera, like, I would probably prefer that if I had a big camera, but like, I don't know, it just seemed like too much. It was too heavy. This is light, easy to deal with. So far it works pretty well. So yeah, so we went to Eureka Springs, and I've never been there. Eureka Springs is kind of a mountainy, touristy resort kind of town in northwest Arkansas in the Ozark Mountains, and it's very pretty. They've got a bunch of little shops, restaurants, their downtown area is very cute, it's very picturesque, basically. So mostly what we did was walk around, get snacks in different places, and go into different stores so Ava could buy everything in the world. I mostly shot, I took my XS20, which is what I'm filming on, but I didn't even take it out of the bag. Like, I took it just in case, like, brought it with me on the trip, but no, I ended up using the X100VI for absolutely everything. And mostly that was totally fine. That probably has a lot to do with the fact that my usual setup is a Fuji camera with a 23mm or 35mm equivalent prime on it. So, pretty much the same experience, other than this one is smaller and much easier to carry around in a bag, which is pretty much the whole reason I bought it. Now I keep the very excellent Sigma 18-50 on the XS20. And I think once the new wears off of this, I'll probably use the XS20 with the 18-50 if I'm going somewhere to specifically take pictures, or the XS20 with one of my faster primes like the Viltrox 1.4 23mm for like, I know I'm going to a nighttime lowly lit event, but this is what is going to ride around in my bag at all times. And honestly, super impressed with this camera. But yeah, I used a variety of different film sims, but mostly I've been using Reala Ace. To me, it looks really close to classic chrome, just slightly different, and I tend to like it as kind of an all-around one. I also did some Acros black and whites, and I also played around with the film sim bracketing. If you don't know about this, you can go in, you can press the drive button on your camera and then go down to bracketing and then go over to film simulation, and then you can pick 3 different film sims, and every time you press the shutter button and take a picture, it will take one picture and it will give you 3 different versions of it, like one photo but 3 different film sims. So for example, I had Nostalgic Neg, Reala Ace, and Acros, and I did that a few times to where I could take a picture and I could get like a pretty normal color in the Reala Ace, the nostalgic, almost sepia toned Nostalgic Neg, and then a black and white in the Acros. So that's really cool. So yeah, like I did a bunch of that, but yeah, so far I think Reala Ace is pretty much going to be just my standard. Like that's going to be what I probably default to. And I'm also super excited for Fuji to release the new firmware update for the XS20 so that I will have that film sim on there too. But you know, they say this summer, so who knows what that means. At any rate, super happy with this camera. I took a bunch of good pictures. We did downtown, just some buildings and some walking around. I did some kind of street photography while we were sitting at a restaurant shooting people through the window, which was cool. I took lots of pictures of food, which was neat, because that's one of the things I like having a really good travel camera for. I like some food photography, and restaurant photography is always a thing I enjoy. Did lots of pictures of Ava, kind of portraits-ish, you know, and Daisy. And as mentioned, we went to a bunch of different restaurants. So one of the reasons that I really like the 35mm equivalent is sitting across from someone at a table. You can get some really good photos of them. So, you know, that's cool. I think that's basically it for this quick video. I've just had it for a couple of weeks now, so I wanted to put something on YouTube that had some examples of it. I'm probably going to do a more organized and like more specifically for this purpose, like kind of photo walk or something in the next week or two, and then I'll put that up. But I did want to just like, you know, this camera is new and it's hard to get, and people want to see some samples of the photos that can come out of it, so I wanted to show a bunch of them. How long have I been talking for? About 8 minutes. Yeah, that's probably long enough. I can fill this with like 7 minutes of photos, and this will be enough. So, okay. Hope you enjoyed the pictures. I will be back with more videos full of pictures in the near future. Holler.